I count up so much money lately. I count up so much that they hate me. Yeah, I make niggas mad cause they ain't me. Yeah, I've been in my bag going crazy. I count up so much money lately. I count up so much that they hate me. Yeah, I make niggas mad cause they ain't me. Yeah, I've been in my bag going crazy. Bitch, I'm not. First don't fuck your bitch in the click you claim. West side when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas fuck for life. Plus, Puffy tryna see me weak, hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia some more. I think a little higher. I think a little higher.
What's that? What's up, you guys? Back in another video. It's your boy P021. I just want to say welcome back to my channel, and also I just want to say I just want to say how you guys doing, and also if you're feeling happy or sad, then my entertainment should bring you joy. And also don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We post and share to all social media platforms, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell for future videos. And also don't forget to get the Teespring. Don't forget to get the PJ Digital Gang merchandise at teespring.com/PJ Digital And also, I have a promo code 2welcome25 in all caps and the number 25. And you have to get 2 items for that code to activate. So, the next reaction that I got is top 10 things Netflix, the Jeffrey Dahmer story got factually right and wrong. So, I said on my Twitch like stream, but I'm gonna say it like for the recording that Jeffrey Dahmer, like he's like a serial like murderer, that like he would basically like try to pretend to like help like these random like males like with like their desire of like money or fame and all that, and then he will always like roofie them and like offer them like a drink, and then like invite them back to their place, and then like just do unspeakable things where like it's just a lot to explain, but I can't say it for community guidelines. So I'm just gonna let the video explain itself between like the real and the Netflix like a version of the Jeffrey Dahmer story. And like there was, I would say in total there was 2 like movies about him, like where you have the 2017 that played Ross Lynch, and this one and this year that plays Evan Peters. So they really found like a exact resemblance like towards Jeffrey Dahmer himself.
What's going on?
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, got factually right and wrong.
What I did, I should be dead.
For this list, we're looking at what was fact and what was fiction in Ryan Murphy's Netflix series about the infamous serial killer.
And like I'm not watching this because like I've seen a clip already like where it's like she's on the phone like with the cops, and then she heard like a commotion going on in the other room, and then it's just Dahmer like doing unspeakable things like to his like his recent like victim that he has like over at his place. And I don't have time for these like scary like movies just because we're in the month of October and all that. Like I'm not doing that. Like I said, this is an actual like true story about a true person.
Killer. Are you watching Dahmer? Let us know in the comments below.
No, I'm not watching no damn Dahmers.
Number 10. How Jeffrey Dahmer was caught. Right. Netflix's limited series about Jeffrey Dahmer begins with the night a would-be victim survived an encounter with the killer.
Somebody call the police! Help me!
On July 22, 1991, Tracy Edwards spent hours in Dahmer's apartment in fear, waiting for an opportunity to make his escape. And though the way in which he escaped is depicted differently in the series, Edwards did hit Dahmer and ran out of the apartment.
I hit him and I ran towards the door, and he was right there, tried to grab me, get me back in there.
2 police officers went to Dahmer's residence to obtain the key to unlock the handcuffs still on one of Edwards' wrists. Once they found explicit photos documenting some of the murders, Dahmer was apprehended, putting an end to his reign of terror.
The officers were stopped by an individual who claimed he was in the apartment and became engaged in a dispute with the owner of the apartment and left the apartment and called the officers.
Number 9. Dahmer wore yellow contacts. Right. One of the lesser-known facts about Dahmer was his strange habit of wearing yellow contact lenses.
You see my contacts? They're just like the Emperor's. Got him at a costume shop in Kenosha.
He wore them because he felt connected to 2 dark characters in his favorite movies, the Emperor from Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi, and the Gemini Killer from The Exorcist 3. In changing his appearance to resemble these powerful fictional figures, Dahmer himself felt more powerful and predatory.
That I actually derives a sort of pleasure from watching that tape.
Did you like feeling evil?
No, I didn't. But I had tried to overcome the thoughts, and it worked for a while, but eventually I gave in.
He repeatedly...
He liked being evil. Get my face in. Like this. He liked being, because he even said he overcome the thoughts, and then he just gave in. That's basically saying that you like being evil.
Lee watched the films before he went out to find another victim to bring home, often making them watch the films with him.
What are we gonna do? I told you. We're gonna hang out, gonna watch a movie, gonna take some pictures.
Yeah, and also I have to mention about the pictures thing too. Like I said, he will also take pictures of them too. I don't know what kind of pictures, but
I'll pay you.
Tracy Edwards also testified that while playing The Exorcist 3, Dahmer was chanting and rocking back and forth.
It was like a slow slur, like some of that nature, some close like that, I'm not sure.
Did it keep on for a period of time?
Off and on throughout the ordeal.
Number 8. How Ronald Flowers survived. Wrong.
Jesus.
Don't worry, I'm not a cop.
Another survivor of Dahmer was Ron Flowers, who met him when his car broke down and Dahmer offered to help. He took him to his grandmother's West Allis residence and drugged his coffee. But Dahmer is interrupted when his grandmother sees that something is wrong with the young man.
You should take that young man to a hospital.
What? He's just a little wasted, Grandma.
I will not have some stranger dying in my house.
He'll be fine. Just let him sleep it off. Jeez.
No. Something is not right here.
She is adamant about staying with the unconscious guest, making sure he gets on a bus the next morning. But her actual involvement in saving Flowers from her grandson has never been reported. Like in the series, Flowers woke up in County General Hospital.
Where am I? You OD'd. You're lucky to be alive.
But what isn't mentioned is that he was also covered in abrasions and believed he might have been assaulted. He later testified that he didn't know how he got there, though the series provides a fictional scenario.
The guy I met last night, he was weird. He must have slipped something in my drink. Dude tried to kill me.
Number 7. Dahmer posed in yearbook photos. Right.
How did he get in there?
I don't know. Dan, how did you not catch this? I'm sorry, I didn't see him in the photo.
It's your goddamn job, Dan.
The Netflix series mainly follows Jeffrey Dahmer as an adult, but a flashback to him in high school shows him sneaking into a yearbook picture for the Honor Society, despite not being a member. Yes, he actually did this, and his face was subsequently blacked out of the photo. My Friend Dahmer, both the graphic novel and its film adaptation, go further into the prank and the other club photos he infiltrated.
Excuse me, what do you... Oh, no. Is that really necessary?
Former classmates have described how his bizarre behavior in school quickly went from entertaining to concerning, given his heavy drinking.
Hey, was he pretending to be in high school? Like, as an adult?
And I remember sitting next to him in a first period, I believe, history class, and he had a styrofoam cup of scotch, I believe it was scotch. I remember saying, "Jeff, what is that?" And he threw his head back and he shook it and he said, "It's my medicine."
Number 6. Dahmer killed Dean Vaughn. Wrong. In episode 7, Glenda Cleveland meets Dean Vaughn, a new resident of the Oxford apartments.
Sorry I snapped on you. You gotta be careful in this neighborhood.
Well, I'm a good guy. Scout's honor.
She sees him talking to Dahmer in the hall and is visibly concerned. The series doesn't follow through with his story, but it does point viewers in a certain direction. However, Vaughn was really a tenant in the building. He was found strangled in his upstairs apartment in early May 1991. Dahmer was questioned about the suspicious death before he was arrested, and again when he was eventually caught. Both times he denied knowing him, and no evidence was ever found connecting him to the crime. As of 2022, the murder of Dean Vaughn is still unsolved.
And what about Dean Vaughn? You was talking to him in the hallway, then I never saw him after that.
Number 5.
What? Like, no, son, like, how he just get strangled and, like, murdered in his own apartment, where you had Jeffrey Dahmer and that lady, like, living in the same apartment as well. Like, who else did it, son? Like, do you have another murderer that was living in the same apartment?
Baptized the same day as John Wayne Gacy's execution. Right.
So you've never done construction work before?
No. Well, like I said, it's just stuff around the house, helping Mama, you know.
The beginning of the final episode doesn't open on Jeffrey Dahmer, but rather another infamous serial killer, John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown. In the 1970s, Gacy took the lives of more than 33 young men in Illinois until he was arrested in December 1978.
Gacy was the epitome of evil, and he was the epitome of being a great guy, which gave him the ability to be the most evil guy in the world.
For 14 years, the convicted murderer was on death row at Illinois' Menard Correctional Center, and on May 10, 1994, Gacy was executed by lethal injection.
John Wayne Gacy was pronounced dead at 12:58 a.m.
He got a much easier death than any of his victims. In my opinion, he got an easier death than he deserved. But the important thing is that he paid for his crimes with his life.
Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, Dahmer was being baptized by Minister Roy Ratcliffe. And, as it's briefly mentioned in the series, a partial solar eclipse also occurred that day. What does it all mean? We don't know, but this connection between two notorious killers is definitely eerie.
Congratulations, Jeff. You saved.
On FanDuel Casino.
Okay, so John Wayne Gacy gets the death penalty, and then he gets an execution, and then while Jeffrey, he gets baptized, and then like a solar eclipse like happens like at the same time that both of these like events are taking place. So I'm not saying like a Freaky Friday type of vibe like went on, like where they switch bodies. Or it's like that's the only reason that I'm thinking like that's how that happened. Like the solar eclipse happened, and then they had his baptism, and then they had the execution go on too, and then like maybe they switched bodies, It's an accusation. It's not like really like what happened. I'm just assuming. Yeah.
You saved. Thanks. Thank you.
Number 4, victim impact statements. Right.
I would like to say to Jeffrey Dahmer that he don't know the pain, the hurt, the loss, and the mental state he's put our family in.
One of the most heartbreaking parts of Jeffrey Dahmer's 1992 trial was hearing the impact statements. After sitting through the details of his crimes, family members of the victims had the opportunity to address the court. One of the more harrowing statements came from Rita Isbell, the sister of Errol Lindsay.
Yeah, I saw this on IG. It was like yesterday, like where like the actor that played her like got it like all right, like seriously.
The series recreates the emotionally charged moment with actress Deshawn Barnes, who embodied the palpable pain, anger, and sadness of Isbell in her performance.
Now I don't want to ever have to see my mother go through this again. Never, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I hate you.
And Dahmer's own statement took a lot from the real-life one.
That I did what I did, not for reasons of hate. I hated no one.
Number 3, Glenda Cleveland lived at the Oxford Apartments. Wrong. In the series, actress Niecy Nash plays the role of Glenda Cleveland, a woman who is often overlooked in the Jeffrey Dahmer case. She interacts with him, mostly to complain about the smell and noise coming from his apartment through her vent.
I gotta say, that smell is worse than ever.
Is it?
The real Cleveland actually lived in the building next to the Oxford Apartments. The character is likely a composite of Cleveland and Pamela Bass, the woman who lived across the hall from Dahmer, who possibly unknowingly consumed human meat given to her by her neighbor.
Wait, what? What?
Cleveland actually lived in the building next to the Oxford Apartments. The character is likely a composite of Cleveland and Pamela Bass, the woman who lived across the hall from Dahmer, who possibly unknowingly consumed human meat given to her by her neighbor.
How many weird people live in this apartment? Because you have one serial killer. You have a woman that's a cannibal, and she was eating flesh, and like how many sick people was living in this apartment?
However, Glenda Cleveland did continuously call Milwaukee police after her daughter Sandra Smith and niece Nicole Childress told her about a boy they tried to help. Number 2, Milwaukee police officers returned a victim back to Dahmer's apartment. Right.
What the hell? Hey kid, what are you doing?
In late May 1991, some young women, including Smith and Childress, found Conorak's synthesomphone stumbling in the streets, not in the Oxford Apartments hallway as shown in the series. They called the police to help the very young-looking boy.
He was holding on to me with a really, really strong grip, and he was trembling, he was shaking. So I just stayed with him and I was like, I'm gonna get you some help.
But when Dahmer came back to his apartment, he convinced officers Joseph Gabrish and John Balserzak that synthesomphone was of age and his boyfriend. In the series, Cleveland is at the scene confronting police, trying to tell them that he was a minor.
Wait. You just gonna let him take this baby back inside?
Ma'am, he's telling me this is where they live. We're gonna take him back inside.
Y'all don't at least want to find out.
This is why you don't trust the cops. Like that's like the cops don't do nothing. Like seriously, like you just like how you gonna listen to this one white man? Where like the lady like she's like more older than Dahmer, and she's telling you that's like a young boy, and like he not showing you any proof that like that boy lives with Dahmer. So how can you tell that like he actually lives with Dahmer without like no paperwork, like no certificate, no nothing, like no blood like relations at all?
How old this boy is first?
Ma'am, he says it's his boyfriend.
We'll handle it from here. I'm really sorry about this, everybody.
Yo, the cop is funny. So he's like, yo, man, no, that's his boyfriend. Like, we gotta believe him, man. All right, so we're late for donuts.
Despite protests from the women, the officers escorted Dahmer and his incoherent boyfriend back to his apartment. When the police left, Dahmer killed him. Tragically, this poorly handled ordeal actually happened. After Dahmer's arrest, Gabrish and Balcerzak were suspended, but later...
They should have gotten suspended. They should have gotten fired and, like, also fined, too. Like, seriously, you let a murder happen in your own watch. Like, just because y'all believed the white man instead of the black people. Like, seriously, it's like, yo, racism still happens to this day. Like, seriously.
Reinstated. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified if you're on your...
Mr. Dahmer.
Dahmer always wore his glasses at trial. Wrong.
Mr. Dahmer, before I impose sentence, I understand you have a statement you'd like to read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Towards the end of the series, Jeffrey Dahmer goes on trial for the murders. While the majority of the scenes are accurately recreated, there's one detail that was different. Evan Peters as Dahmer almost always wears the killer's trademark glasses. But the real Dahmer specifically did not wear his glasses throughout most of the trial. His reason? He didn't want to look the jury or victims' families in the face. Yes, it's a small inaccuracy in a largely true-to-life series. However, his decision to remove his eyewear is significant because it shows that he was unable to face his crimes.
Because I didn't feel accountable to anybody. I didn't feel that I had to face what I had done ever. And so there comes a point where a person has to be accountable for what he's done. Can't go around making excuses, blaming other people or other things.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe.
Why do I feel like that? Like what Jeffrey Dahmer like did? Like he feels right. Like what he stands by. Like to the victims that he that he murdered and that he killed too. Like he feels right that he was supposed to do that. Like he had some sort of like destiny. Like he had to fulfill and like a mission like to complete. It's like, yo, like with these documentaries, I don't really watch documentaries like that. I don't watch. I seen Split, I seen Glass. I think that those were based on like true stories. I'm not so sure, but it's like it's something that is like truly scary towards me, and like I'm not gonna watch it. But if it's like I know it's gonna happen, something like I could laugh about it too, then I'll watch it. But if it's something that's like gonna give me nightmares, I'm good. I'm good. So like this is why I'm not gonna watch like the Netflix Jeffrey Dahmer story, because like, I feel like I might have nightmares, and it's just like something that I don't need right now. So this is top 10 things Netflix the Jeffrey Dahmer story got factually right and wrong. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We post this here to all social media platforms, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell for future videos. And it's your boy P, Digital 21 signing off, and repeat again.
Bitches, we keep on coming while we